When you're standing at the edge of a pool and the chlorine smell hits you before the water even looks blue, you start wondering if there's a better way. You've probably read a handful of articles that promise salt water is easier and a few reviews that warn you about expensive units that never work. That hesitation is real because a chlorine system that doesn't fit your pump or your pool size can end up being a money-draining project you'll regret. I'm going to walk through what you actually get with the CircuPool RJ60 Plus Complete Saltwater Chlorination System, how it behaves once it's in the water, and whether the price matches the everyday value you'll see. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. First off, the biggest question most buyers have is, will this work with my existing equipment? The RJ60 Plus is designed to be a drop-in replacement for traditional chlorine feeders. In practice, that means you can hook it up to any standard pool pump and filter whether you have a Hayward, Pentair, or a less well-known brand. I spent a few evenings watching installation videos and reading the Q&A section on Amazon where owners repeatedly said the wiring was straightforward. You connect the cell to the plumbing, plug it into a 120V or 240V outlet, and the OLED screen walks you through the rest. The no DIY install penalty wording isn't just marketing fluff. It reflects the fact that the manufacturer won't void the 7-year warranty if you do the hookup yourself, as long as you follow the basic safety steps. Now, let's talk about daily use. Once the cell is in place, the system runs continuously, pulling salt from the water, breaking it down into chlorine, and then returning the sanitized water to the pool. The OLED display shows real-time output, cell temperature, and a simple salt level OK indicator. In a typical suburban pool of about 12,000 gallons, the RJ60 Plus kept the chlorine range between 1 and 3 ppm without any manual dosing for weeks at a time. The only routine task was a quick visual check of the display and a monthly rinse of the cell with fresh water to clear any calcium buildup, a step you'd have to do with any salt cell, but the clear cell construction makes it easy to see when it needs cleaning. One practical strength that stands out is the heavy-duty housing. The cell is encased in a titanium-grade frame that resists corrosion, which matters because salt water can be surprisingly aggressive over years. In forums, users with pools in coastal areas reported no premature wear after 3 seasons, something that cheaper aluminum housings often can't claim. That durability is the core of why the 7-year manufacturer limited warranty feels meaningful. You're not just buying a piece of hardware, you're buying a promise that the company will replace it if the cell fails under normal conditions, and they don't slap a DIY install penalty on you for having done the work yourself. On the flip side, the system's capacity caps at 60,000 gallons. That's plenty for most residential in-ground pools, but if you manage a larger community pool or a commercial installation, you'll need to look at a higher flow model or run 2 units in parallel. Another nuance is the initial cost. The RJ60 Plus sits higher than the entry-level salt chlorinators that you might find on discount sites. If you're budgeting for a quick fix, the upfront expense can feel steep. However, when you break down the savings on chlorine chemicals over a typical 3-year ownership, the numbers start to line up. I crunched the average weekly chlorine spend for a 12,000 pool about $15 in chemicals and compared it to the one-time purchase price. Within 2 seasons, the chemical savings alone offset a sizable chunk of the purchase. Who should consider this system? If you own an in-ground pool up to 60,000 gallons, already have a reliable pump and filter, and you're comfortable handling a modest amount of salt, the recommended concentration is roughly 3,000 ppm, which translates to about 50 pounds of salt for a 12,000 gallon pool. The RJ60 Plus is a solid fit. Families who want to eliminate that sharp chlorine smell, reduce skin irritation for kids, and spend less time juggling weekly dosing will find the set and forget nature valuable. It also appeals to DIY-oriented owners who want to avoid paying a contractor for a retrofit. The warranty and no penalty language give you confidence to install it yourself. Conversely, if you have a small above-ground pool, are renting and can't make permanent changes, or you're on a shoestring budget that can't accommodate the higher initial price, you might